Hey everybody, JTISREBORN here, and welcome to my Wrestlemania 33 review. Yes, I'm doing a wrestling review. I haven't done one of these in a very long time, but I figure since I watched Wrestlemania, I might as well do a review on it. And I was going to review this last night, but after 7 hours of this shit and seeing the saddest ending in WrestleMania history go down, I just emotionally wasn't into it. I mean, I had to get up early in the morning for work. And I was just like, I was done. I was drained. I mentally could not, I couldn't, turn on my laptop and just press record and give my thoughts. I just didn't have it in me. So, I mean, you can understand 7 hours of this is so much. Oh, God. It's not like I'm, West Coast or something where I have several hours to, I'm East Coast. So, after midnight when the show ends and after watching it from, 5 to after 12, it's like, oh shit, this is too much. So basically I shut it off, went to bed, just kind of just laid there for a bit, just like, what did I just watch? So we'll get into the ending of the show and an epic rant coming, I guess. So let's first begin with the kickoff show. I came in during the first match, which was a championship match, the Cruiserweight titles match between Adrian Neville and Austin Aries. The winner was Neville with that red arrow, which, God, he does that so flawlessly. They were given, I guess, 15 minutes to go, so I got the times of the matches up here. And from what I saw, it was fairly decent. I mean, I wasn't there from the get-go. I'm not invested in any of the storylines or anything like that. And I was wrong on my predictions video. I figured Austin Aries would win because he's Austin Aries, but Adrian Neville did, and that's that. Next, we have the André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The winner this year was Mojo Rawley after last eliminating Jinder Mahal. An interesting thing to note about this match was that Rob Gronkowski was in the audience, and he jumps the barricade and interferes, mind you, and helps Mojo Rawley win. Now, a funny thing about this is when he hops the barricade, the security team acts like they're like, oh shit, somebody's jumping, and they're like, they all stop and they're like, no, don't stop him. He's not just a fan or something like that. There's some mix up there, and they're just nobody knew what to do, and they just kind of just let him go in there and tackle Jinder Mahal on that. And so Mojo Rawley has to cheat to win. Yay! I'm so into this guy as a babyface who has to rely on outside help. Typical. So there was that. Then after that, there was a Paul Heyman segment that, was Maria Menounos and some other attractive chick. And Paul Heyman was back there. He's, whenever Paul Heyman talks, I'm into it. He's usually, really funny. It was basically an Ask Heyman thing, asking questions about Brock Lesnar and his match later on with Goldberg. But one thing that was just really weird about this was there was this laugh that Maria Menounos did. And she was like, ah! She has this weird fucking laugh. I'm like, what the hell was that? It's a crazy-ass cackle. So that was at least kind of funny and interesting. So far I've been 0 for 2 in my predictions video. And then we have match number 3, which is the last match on the kickoff show, which was Dean Ambrose versus the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin. And this match went on for about 11 minutes or so, and I wasn't really feeling this. Those two looked noticeably pissed off going into this. Not necessarily for the feud, but for the fact that they got moved to the pre-show. Yes, the IC title matches on the pre-show. Just because the show in 5 hours is just so goddamn long, and it's too much. Oh no, 5 plus 2. The main show is 5. Other part was the kickoff was 2 hours. Oh God, it's just so much. It's just too much, people. So, anyways, Dean Ambrose wins. It's a forgettable match, and then the main show begins. New Day are hosts, and they welcome everybody, and so on and so forth. Match after that, match number 4, I guess. First match on the main card, we have the match I was most looking forward to the entire night. I knew this was going to be the best match on the show, and ironically it was, but there was other two that came second or third. They're pretty close. It was Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. I was really looking forward to this because Shane always brings his A game at Mania. He always does some crazy-ass stunt, and then AJ Styles is arguably the best all-around professional wrestler on the entire planet. The way he wrestles and that, he's incredible. So these two had a really good match. It was a lot of fun. Some of the highlights are, of course, Shane McMahon doing his coast to coast. There's one part where AJ Styles is on the announcer's table to the outside. Shane jumps from the turnbuckle, and like AJ gets out of the way, but Shane goes through it, but he like slides off. You know, I've never seen anyone legit just like slide off on the table. That was crazy. And then the craziest part of all was fucking Shane McMahon does a shooting star press. What? I did not know Shane McMahon could do that. I was like, holy shit, Shane, you could do a shooting star press? Never seen Shane McMahon do that. That was awfully impressive. And then AJ Styles ended up winning with the flying forearm, and it was a nice job by both guys. You know, lots of fun. So far, Mania's off to a good start. I mean, the Battle Royale was fine. The Austin Aries thing was fine. Ambrose thing was But so far, Mania started off good. This match went on for about like 20 minutes, and I rather enjoyed it, just seeing these two have a good old match. Next match was Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the United States title match. The build-up to this match was the best thing going in. And honestly, these two should have been the main event, like Champion Owens versus Chris Jericho. I mean, hell, everyone knows Chris Jericho. They would have watched him in the main event instead of Roman fucking Reigns for the third year in a row. Fucking A, man. Why does this guy get 3 WrestleMania main events in a row? There's so many other talented superstars that have never main evented Mania, but Roman Reigns gets to do it 3 times in what is like 5th year in the WWE? Fucking bullshit. And then, so anyways, back to this match. Sorry about that. Just pisses me off a bit. It's one of the reasons I don't really watch WWE anymore. The match was, it wasn't as good as the Shane McMahon match. It was actually kind of disappointing that they weren't allowed to go off as much. It was a good match, but it's nothing to ride home about. Some of the highlights were the code breaker. When Kevin Owens kicked out of one thing, he put like the one finger on the rope, per se, which I've never seen. Usually people grab the rope or something, but he just goes, tap. And I'm like, oh, I don't think I can recall ever seeing that before. The finish was Kevin Owens powerbombs Jericho outside the ring and then onto like the apron. And then he rolls him into the ring and then he pins him. I don't really care for that finish. I wish he would have done another powerbomb, but I don't know. Finishers have just lost their appeal anymore. It used to be like you hit a finisher, you win, but I guess not. And it can only like kick out of like major situations, but finishers have been, diluted so much. So next match we have, what do we have? Bayley versus Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax and Sasha Banks, a fatal 4-way elimination match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. This match was all right. It wasn't anything to write home about. Charlotte, basically, let me go in the order of elimination. Nia Jax gets eliminated first with a triple powerbomb to her, and all 3 divas jump on and pin her. The most impressive move in the match was this corkscrew like moonsault that Charlotte did. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Next, Sasha Banks was eliminated after being whipped into the exposed turnbuckle by Charlotte. Then it was down to Bayley and Charlotte. Bayley wins with the Macho Man elbow drop, retains, and then that's the match. Not much to say here. It kind of just it's better than some of the other matches on the card. It's definitely not the worst, but it was fine. It was passable. Okay. Then after that, we got like a Hall of Fame induction recap, and basically the 2017 Hall of Fame cast, apparently I can't speak right now, comes out, and then Kurt Angle's music hits. It's great to see Kurt Angle back in WWE. I fucking love that theme song, and, everyone's still chanting, doing the "You Suck" chants, but it's not because we hate Angle. It's just because it's just like, whenever you hear that theme song, you go, you suck, you suck. But, like, everyone still likes Kurt Angle. They just do the chants because, they're so associated with that theme song, but they just can't help but chant it. But that's when Angle was the face. He was just, like, pointing out. It just forever clicked with Kurt Angle, and it's like when people are doing the yes chants for Daniel Bryan. They just kind of do it because you kind of have to. But fucking love Kurt Angle, one of the all-time bests. And then match number 7, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Big Cass and Enzo Amore versus Cesaro and Sheamus versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Championship match for the ladder match. Okay, this was the best surprise of the entire night. So the New Day comes up and then say to everyone, we're going to add someone new to this match. And I'm thinking, the New Day's not wrestling, so they're going to add themselves to the championship match. Yada, yada, yada. No. This surprised the hell out of me. This was the nicest surprise I think I've seen in a long time. Then all of a sudden you hear the music, it's like, fuck, the Hardys are here? the final deletion. The broken Matt Hardy comes out, and Jeff Hardy. Well, I guess they didn't really show him as broken per se, but everybody was chanting delete, 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 because Matt Hardy is like the most over guy in wrestling with his deletion gimmick. I mean, the final deletion thing I watched, one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, and my God, is it entertaining? But oh man, the Hardys came out. At first, I wanted Cesaro and Sheamus to win this before I heard about it. I can't stand Enzo Amore. He looks like a douchebag. He's incredibly annoying. Big Cass is kind of just there. Like I said, I haven't been watching the show, and like when I went to a Raw, like after not having seen it in a long time, I hear this guy and everyone's like saying his whole entire entrance, and I'm like, I haven't been watched it in like a few months. Is this guy like really over? And then I see this guy, I'm like, wow, this seems like a guy, like, I'm like, this guy looks and dresses and talks like a douchebag. I really want to see this guy get his ass kicked. So anyways, I was surprised as hell to see the Hardys out. You know, there's some spots in the match, like Cesaro doing a Cesaro swing. There's an awesome twist of fate off the ladder. Jeff Hardy is fucking crazy. They have like these two ladders, like you have the barricade here and then like the ring here. They're kind of like make like a bridge. Cesaro and Sheamus are on the two of them. Jeff Hardy gets a super tall fucking ladder. You know, fucking crazy ass Jeff Hardy. You know, I would figure that Jeff Hardy would be slowing down his age, but no, Jeff Hardy is just fucking insane. He does a swanton bomb off the top, like, oh shit, oh fuck yeah, the Hardys, they come in, Matt Hardy climbs the ladder, and boom, yes, champions. This was great, but I have one major problem. This match was way too short. I mean, they only were given like 10 minutes. What's the exact time? 11 minutes. This match should have been at least 5 or 6 minutes longer. Cut out, you know, the battle royal. You know, you can cut out some time in some of these other matches for these other guys. I mean, obviously the kickoff stuff kind of stays there. They're already set in stone. But for the new stuff, I mean, do we really need the Seth Rollins and Triple H match to go 25 minutes? I mean, good match, but you could have taken 5 minutes away from them and added it to this, or cut down on the John Cena thing, or whatever happens after that. But we'll get to that next. But yeah, this was my second favorite match of the night, and then third would be the Triple H Rollins match. But you know, just seeing the Hardys back in WWE, I know Matt Hardy's going through some legal issues over fucking TNA over the broken gimmick, which is just ridiculous. TNA, come on, just stop. Go away. I mean, just let Matt have his gimmick. You're so cynical and bitter. The only reason you're still around, I think, is partially because of Matt Hardy and that final deletion thing. Whatever, fuck it. Yeah, I'm not going to talk much about TNA. But anyways, let's go into match 8. John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. It's a mixed tag team match. The only thing I really enjoyed about this was the great video package that had The Miz there, like where he was like the total Bella's bullshit thing. Now, I gotta give props to The Miz. He's been a great heel as of late. I mean, I haven't really been watching the shows, but I've gone back and rewatched a lot of The Miz's segments because I've been hearing really good things. And holy shit, like, where was this Miz for a while? I used to call him like the Jizz because he was just so like boring, or Mr. Pre-Show, because you're just so bland and generic. Even as a heel, I'm like, he's not doing anything for me. But man, they took the cuffs off him and just kind of let him go a bit. Great. I'm sorry, The Miz, for doubting you and you actually having some talent there, but yeah, kudos to Miz. That total Bella's bullshit thing was so fucking funny. I mean, if you get a chance, do yourself a favor and go check that out. I mean, you'll have a good laugh. Rule 5 of John Cena's house. Nikki, I love you. Nikki, I love you. Change. You have the wrong card showing. Like, that was fucking great. And then when he has like the fake Daniel Bryan come on, he's like, yes. Oh, I can't eat steak. I'm a vegan. It'll hurt my tummy. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm more interested in that than this garbage match. So, anyways, blah blah blah. Guess who wins? John Cena and Nikki Bella in a really shitty match. Also, Al Roker was the guest announcer for some reason. I mean, why is Al Roker there? I mean, doesn't make any sense. So after the match, John Cena grabs the mic and he starts talking. One question, Nikki. I am going to marry you. So John Cena proposes in the ring. I guess he kept his engagement ring in his jean shorts with him the entire time. Why not just have that on the side? I mean, you have him in your pocket the whole time. What kind of jackass wrestles? For one thing, what jackass wrestles in jean shorts? And what kind of jackass, keeps his engagement ring in his pocket while he's having a match at WrestleMania? I mean, that's pretty fucking stupid. But anyway, Cena and Nikki Bella, win with back-to-back AAs. No surprise here. Honestly, I was only interested in thanks to the Miz's promo skills for this. Like the build-up, I knew going into this, John Cena was gonna win, but it's like a harmless match. It's just a fucking mixed tag team match. I mean, I guess it undercuts some of the Miz's momentum, but let's face it, Miz isn't going anywhere. But kudos to the Miz for carrying this thing as a heel. He's been doing some good shit lately, and I would like to congratulate him. But yeah, John Cena proposes Nikki Bella. She says yes, and I guess they're getting married. But the thing about this, though, it doesn't feel real. I mean, it doesn't feel natural. Like Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan, that felt real and authentic. This Nikki Bella John Cena thing, John Cena didn't seem like real emotions. He seemed like a robot. Nikki, I want to spend rest of life with me. I did it. I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. Sorry, just had flashbacks to a much better, more charismatic wrestler in The Rock. All right, next match. So yeah, that John Cena match, garbage. Probably, honestly, the worst wrestling match. One of the worst wrestling matches of the night. Next after that, we have the longest match of the night, a non-sanctioned match between Seth Rollins and Triple H. So this match here, we start out Triple H. Let's talk about Triple H's entrance because that's what he always goes. Triple H comes out with his motorcycle, his three-wheel motorcycle on that, and then he's got the police escort going, and Stephanie McMahon's in the back, wee, and the police are coming out. I saw a funny tweet. It was like, "What's up? The police are here. Somebody hide Jeff Hardy," or something like that. I mean, that was pretty funny. So he gets the police escort. Seth Rollins comes out with a torch and his Gold Ranger attire, I guess, and some cool. And then we have a pretty good match here. Number 3 in terms of matches I enjoyed the most on the card, and Seth Rollins and Triple H, they put on a good show here. Seth Rollins obviously just coming off that injured knee, and Triple H has been working it the entire time. Some of the cool spots, that clothesline Triple H did to Rollins, where he just kind of backflips in him and sells it like a motherfucker. The Phoenix Splash was nice. What else do we got? The Sledgehammer comes out. Triple H working the knee. A lot of good counters in here. Match ends after Stephanie McMahon goes through a table, which she sold pretty well. Triple H just has this look on his face get my shovel. I'm going to bury you for this, Seth Rollins. And then Seth Rollins turns around, hits a pedigree on Triple H, and he wins the match. So yeah, this one was pretty good. Good storytelling here. Part of me wanted Triple H to go over because I think it would have been funny. But, Triple H, he's 9-13 at WrestleMania. So he has the most losses at WrestleMania out of anyone. So, as you were saying, Triple H doesn't ever put people over. He does his work at Mania. So, yeah, Seth Rollins wins. Wonder where they're going for this. I don't know. Match number 10, one of the biggest disappointments of the night. We have Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in a WWE Championship match. Honestly, some of the segments leading up to this feud, from what I've seen, have been pretty good. Like Randy Orton torching the place for Sister Abigail's remains. This match, for some reason, nothing was really clicking in this match, and I think a lot of it has to do with the time frame. I mean, Seth Rollins and Triple H got 25 minutes. This match got 10. 10 minutes for a WWE title match. That's for goddamn ridiculous. I mean, granted, there's a lot of matches on this card already, but you could have cut some of this down. I mean, that Undertaker Roman Reigns match for sure could have been cut down by 6 minutes or so. That was just too much to watch. So, anyways, this match, there's a weird thing that they did with the projector, and then they see these maggots in the ring, and then worms and stuff, and weird lighting in this ring. It's projected down in the ring, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? Does Bray control things?" Orton kicks out of his sister Abigail. Bray starts spider walking. Cockroaches show up. The finish is an RKO out of nowhere. The crowd was dead for this. Orton wins in a really weak finish to an underwhelming match. This was the biggest disappointment of the night in terms of matches, because I know these two can go, And Orton, you can see the look on his face. He's like noticeably pissed, like, oh fuck. He knew the match sucked, and Bray I think knew too. And those two, like, they weren't given enough time. This match, I mean, Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble, mind you. That should mean the main event of WrestleMania, last on the card. Only when a Raw superstar wins the Royal Rumble do they get to go first. Do they get to go last? Why? Like, you win the Royal Rumble. If you're a SmackDown superstar, you should be main eventing WrestleMania. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. The last match on the show should always be the person who wins the Royal Rumble, gets their main event title match at WrestleMania. But no, WWE, for some reason, doesn't do this. I think, what do they do? Last year, Roman Reigns won the Rumble, I think last year, and that was garbage. And then the year before, or did he win the year before too? No, John Cena won. You know what? Fuck, I can't remember who won the Rumble last year, the year before. But this year it was just like, Randy Orton wins this year. And, yeah, it was pretty soon. No, Triple H won it last year. That's right. And then he, like, jobbed to Roman Reigns in the boring-ass main event. God, Roman Reigns 3. And I hear that they want to do Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns, mind you, would be main eventing his 4th straight WrestleMania. I've never seen somebody main event 4 in a row. Even John Cena and his, like, untalented ass got to main event 3 in a row. I mean, what the fuck? So, and this, what match am I on? Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Nothing special here. This is a huge disappointment. And I'm thinking, oh, well, then the Universal title match must be last. No. The match right after this was Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg with Paul Heyman for the WWE Universal Championship. As soon as I saw the ad for that, I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck are you doing? Why isn't this match last? I mean, this is Goldberg versus Lesnar, the feud you've been building up the most. And then, like, it was starting to click with me, like, oh, shit. No, you're not doing this. Then I knew right then and there that Roman Reigns versus Taker was going to be last, and he was going to retire him right then and there. So, honestly, this match was, like, just under 5 minutes long, but for an under 5-minute match, I was fucking entertained. I mean, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I wish they would have gone at least, like, 3 or 4 minutes more, but between the 2 championship matches, just over 15 minutes combined, and that's not including the entrances. So Goldberg's been spears the shit out of Lesnar like 4 or 5 times, hits an F5, Brock kicks out. Brock hits him with like 10 German suplexes, then an F5, and then boom, Goldberg is beat in a quick match. Goldberg looked noticeably hurt here, but just seeing these two go at it was a lot of fun, and I'm curious to know what they do with Goldberg now. I don't know if he's done entirely, but this is pretty predictable to see Lesnar win. And we have a new champion that'll show up every 6 months, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he shows up at least once a month on like pay-per-views, which is fine. Use Lesnar for like maybe like 1 Raw or 2 Raws in between, and then like 1 pay-per-view. Every pay-per-view he shows up. That's good by me. So yeah, Brock Lesnar wins, new Universal Champion, and is this the last we see of Goldberg? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. Then after that match, we have a pretty crappy match, just very like We have the champion Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Mickie James versus Carmella versus, God, who else? Carmella with James Ellsworth, Mickie James, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Naomi. 6-pack challenge for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Part I liked was seeing James Ellsworth kind of get his ass kicked. I mean, this clown. And then there was a Naomi botch in here I saw, which was very bad. Naomi wins in an kind of match. Just wasn't very good. I'm kind of disappointed that Alexa Bliss isn't the champion still. I mean, I haven't really been watching much, but I like Alexa Bliss. She's pretty cool. Or Harley Quinn, as I like to call her. And that was that. Then New Day comes out afterwards to announce a new attendance record, something like 70,000 plus people, which I call bullshit on because WWE likes to embellish their numbers to make themselves look better. And then we have the final match in the card, Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. Now this is the whole... Now you're going to be ready for this big rant coming soon. So the last match on the show and the last match of the Undertaker's career is against Roman Reigns. Of all the fucking people, Roman goddamn Reigns is the one to do it. So before the match, Jim Ross comes out to call it. This is a no-holds-barred match. And I'm like, oh, JR, actually good commentating. So Taker's got his entrance. Fans instantly despise Roman. They love Undertaker. Roman sucks chants. Reigns kicks out of a bunch of finishers. Bullshit chants there. Reigns spears Taker. Starts beating him with a chair. After chair shots, he hits Taker with another spear. And then he hits his second spear. Then a Superman punch. Then spear number 3, basically. Taker kind of collapses. Roman Reigns wins. And I can't believe it. And then afterwards, Roman Reigns walks. He was kind of heelish and dickish in this match. No great emotion here. No good selling. This match was just crappy altogether. I mean, Taker just looked hurt after 10 minutes of this match. He was just he was done. He couldn't take it anymore. And then afterwards, Roman Reigns basically, he walks away. Doesn't even shake Taker's hand. There's no emotion to it. When HBK retired Ric Flair in WWE, I know he went to TNA and that, but the emotions were there. He just looked at him. HBK was selling. I'm sorry. He kicks him and he pins him, and just the emotions that HBK sold it, and it was just it was a touching moment. And Ric Flair's all emotional. HBK's he doesn't want to do it, but he knows he has to, and it's a sad scene, but it's fitting. It's well done. When HBK retired against Undertaker. Great, amazing match. Not quite as good as the 25 one, but beautiful. And it was career versus streak. The stakes were there. You felt it. It was amazing. This match sucked ass. This is how the Undertaker's career ends over 20 plus years, and then this is it. The Dead Man, the Phenom, the Streak, one of the greatest of all times. That entrance, the American Badass. He goes out. For one thing, WWE failed to market this terribly. You don't build it up as Taker's, you should have built it up as Taker's last match. But no, you didn't. You get the most dislikable superstar on your entire roster who is never going to be over as a babyface. Never. You mark my words, Roman Reigns will never be cheered in an arena ever again. I mean, you'll have the stragglers here and there, but he will be booed in every single arena till the end of his career. Unless something crazy happens, he's someone more dislikable than him. And you're not doing Roman Reigns any favors here. He looks sloppy. Undertaker looks sloppy as hell. You put this guy in his 3rd straight WrestleMania main event. Why? Why is this guy main eventing WrestleMania for the 3rd straight year? What is the appeal? What is the appeal to this guy? He sucks. He's one of the worst promo cutters I've ever seen. You know what? He does have the worst promo of all time. Roman and the Beanstalk. Can I tell you a story, Big Show? You know what? I'm not going to quote it because if I ever wanted torture myself, if I was a masochist, I would listen to this promo. It is fucking garbage, trash, awful piece of shit. It's God damn it. It was so awful. And it honestly after that why him? I'm as made clear, I'm not the biggest John Cena fan, but honestly, I would have rather seen John Cena versus The Undertaker. And you know what? I would have been upset that it was still Cena to do it, but I would have been more accepting than Roman Reigns. And you know what? Why not just have Cena do it? Why not have Orton do it? Why not have Lesnar end the career? Or fuck, even Triple H. But you choose Roman Reigns. If it was a veteran, you'd have more respect from the fans. And just, Taker, after the match, and one of the saddest things I've ever seen, he somehow gets his ring gear back up. He takes off the gloves, takes off the hat, takes off the trench coat, leaves it all in the ring. He walks off, raises his arm, and just that's how the show ends. You just see the spotlight on it. Nobody touched his gear. They just kind of left it in there. And it was a sad sight to see. I mean, I was getting upset. I was almost shedding tears for it. I mean, and I know it's all wrestling and that, but when you've seen somebody doing this shit for over 20 plus years, you've been watching them since you were little, and just seeing the end of it all. You know what I mean? So many great matches, so many great segments, so many great memories, so many episodes of Raw, SmackDown. He's been on main event, he's been on pay-per-views, Undertaker's done it all. And just to see this as the last match, it's just a terrible way to go out. I mean, it was a touching moment to see him just, kind of put it all in the ring, but the way it was done, And, like, if you really wanted Roman Reigns to get over a babyface, this is, like, the worst possible decision. The only justification I can see for this is if you're going to turn him heel, and you're going to see him the next night on Raw, which is tonight, like an hour or so before I post this, and you'll see him just be a dick. Just be like, yeah, I ended the career. This is my yard now. And just healing it up to the fans. Like, and you know the funny part about all of it was? It was easy. I enjoyed putting him in the ground and ending his career. That's what I did. And forever, when the world ends, you will all sit here, you will all be here watching and remember that it was Roman Reigns that beat The Undertaker. But although Roman would be like, Roman beat Taker at Mania. It's easy. And I used magic beans. Oh, God, sorry. Couldn't help myself, but the build-up to this match was terrible. The match itself sucked. Everything about it was terrible. But I mean, it was touching. It was just so sad to watch. Just seeing Undertaker just put everything, leave it all in the ring right there, and just watch. He goes and hugs and kisses his wife, and there was no good emotional selling from Roman Reigns or anything. The story it was a very, as someone put it, like, it's a front-loaded pay-per-view. Just the sympathy, the sadness, like, Reigns didn't he didn't showcase, like, any emotion to it all. He just, like, it was just, I beat someone. No big deal. It was just sad. This is how it ends. The Undertaker's career. You don't build it up at all. You had so many opportunities. You never did Undertaker versus Sting. We never got Undertaker versus Cena at WrestleMania. We never got a lot of these great matches. Or maybe not good matches, but we never got a lot of these matches. I mean, I would have loved, you know what would have been better? If Sting never got injured by Seth Rollins. Thanks, Seth, for botching your powerbomb. And I would have rather had, if you never would have got injured, what I would have done, I would just had those two, you know what, let's have our final match at WrestleMania, you and me, we close out the show, and we hang up our cleats. Or, you know what I mean? Hang up the boots, leave it all in the ring, announce a retirement, both go off, like, whoever wins, and then, like, the two of them have a stare down, they shake each other's chins, they raise their hands together, and then they call it quits. They go off into the sunset. No, we didn't get that. We didn't get a build-up to Taker's last match at all. The marketing should have been all over the place. You have someone like Roman Reigns who the fans just absolutely can't stand, and it was just... it just left it all in the ring. Arm raised, and he's lowered, and that's it. Honestly, if I had to choose a worst finish in WrestleMania history, I would say this is it. This was the worst. This was like the worst possible way for someone to go out, like The Undertaker. I mean, the only thing worse would be him tripping over his own shoelace. But, like, this is how The Undertaker's career ends. Well, I mean, pretty much does mean that it's the end. I mean, I don't see him coming back after this. He's done. Unless by some miracle he comes back and is like, fuck that. I'm not going out like that shit. Undertaker, you were the best of all time, and I just hate how your last match is this shitty. But anyways, what do I think overall of the show? For 7 hours worth, it's not as... It does have some good stuff here and there. I'm not going to say it's like a total waste of time. The only thing, I'd say check out a few of the matches. I'd say to check out, and you can skip the rest of it. Honestly, watch the Shane match versus AJ Styles. You can watch that all the way through. The Hardy Boys match, you can watch all the way through. Seth Rollins Triple H, you can kind of skim towards the end of that one a bit. Watch the Lesnar one. Okay, so the 4 matches to watch. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. Watch that one. Watch Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Watch Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. It won't be that long. And then watch, what was the other one? The ladder match. After that, don't watch any of it. And then if you want to see the Taker, just moment, like, afterwards, where he just kind of, like, leaves it all in the ring. If you want to, shed a tear and watch as the era just ends. That really is the end of an era. Like, there's no one left from that era left for when Taker debut. I mean, the oldest guys we have left in there is, what, Triple H? And Triple H is in tremendous shape, mind you. He can still go for another, like, couple of years, but there's no one else left. I guess The Rock, because he could sometimes, make an appearance here or there, and Kane and Big Show kind of there, but Taker is the last from, like, that era, like the single-digit manias and stuff. It was just, it's tragic. It really is. It's a shame that it all went down this way, and I'm just, I last night after I watched it, I wanted to rant, but like, it was like the life force was just sucked out of me. Like I couldn't rant. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I was just so like down in the dumps over it. It was depressing to watch. So I think that's gonna wrap it up here. I don't know what they're gonna do after here. If they go with Roman Reigns again, I mean, I'm canceling my network subscription. I'll probably use the free trial for Mania next year or the Rumble, and then that'll be it. Because I watch Mania every year regardless. Because it's kind of like a tradition. It's like watching the Super Bowl. Even if your teams aren't in it, you still kind of watch it. But just disappointed. Just disappointed. It's a real shame that Undertaker's career ended in this fashion. I mean, he should have honestly, looking back at it now, I'm like, his last good match was against CM Punk. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Punk like anymore because he's kind of a dick, and he's kind of a whiner too, but like, he never main evented WrestleMania. He should have. Streak versus the title reign, like, whatever goes down, goes down. That should have been the main event. But no, we had to do Rock vs. Cena 2 after Cena main evented the year before. So Cena and Reigns both have done 3 Manias in a row. But Cena never did a 4th in a row, which it looks like Roman Reigns is doing. And Cena at least had like a couple of years experience under his belt, but all the superstars who have never main evented WrestleMania. Seth Rollins, I know you cashed in his Money in the Bank, so technically he left champion, but he never technically was in the main event until he cashed in. Dean Ambrose never did it. The Hardys have never main evented. I'm trying to look who else. Bray Wyatt hasn't main evented. Goldberg hasn't main evented WrestleMania. All these other great talents, but yet Roman Reigns gets to do it. All these years. Fucking bullshit. I'm sure there's a lot of other superstars who have never main evented WrestleMania that, my mind's not thinking right now. Dolph Ziggler, never main evented. It's a shame. Well, anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video. The negatives definitely like overshadow all the positives on this show, but if you had to watch a few matches, I've listed them already. But for 7 hours, 7 hours is just too much wrestling at once. It's too much. I guess I got the Raw after Mania. I might catch some of the segments of that just to see what they do, and then no WWE for a long time. Too much. No. And you know what? There's got to be some way to stop Roman Reigns. I mean, please. I mean, fuck it. Have him face John Cena next year. Don't make that the main event. Just stop. All right, people. I want to thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of WrestleMania 33. And I'll talk to you all later. I got more stuff coming up. And thanks for watching, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye then.